Hi, it's Pika Chick. Welcome to Paper Theater. To start, you'll need a paper theater kit, an X-Acto knife, a cutting surface, not your Princess Bride playmat, and white glue. Each of the colored squares of paper is laser cut and identified by the step number. Be sure to keep front in the front so all of your edges line up correctly. This set has instructions in both Japanese and English, but the photo illustrations are very effective, with the learning curve provided by yours truly. The first thing we're going to assemble is a macaroon. Here's Pika Chick hint number 1. Always read the instructions. That's right, it says paste the parts to the base pieces. I forgot the paste part. So we'll backtrack just a little. The detail here is amazing. Just a tiny bit of each layer is visible, but together the effect is really cool. If you keep your glue application light, you can press the layers together tightly without any excess glue escaping. Use the die-cut edges to be sure that your layers are lined up. Next comes Eevee. Another really cool detail on this project, if two different pieces fit on the same layer, they will fit together exactly. I picked the wrong color of white for the bottom layer of Eevee's collar here, but it was easy to see that it didn't fit, so I swapped it with the correct one. The nature of the paper material means the layers are all the same thickness. So this layer, which has eye highlights, the mouth, and ear detail, is all flat when it's assembled correctly. Then you put the next layer on and see the full effect of the pieces below. Amazing. Each piece is connected by just one or two small paper tabs, which are easy to pierce through with the X-Acto blade. I didn't have any trouble with extra tags or breaking or cutting any of the pieces in the whole assembly process. When you look closely, the Eevee has 7 different layers of colors and effects and looks absolutely stunning. The third step is another little cookie detail. Who knew paper could be so yummy? This piece is a really good illustration of how the designers used holes and color details on each subsequent layer to make a whole effect. This red strawberry first covers the whole cookie detail. And then you add 2 different layers of cookie on top, each of which has a grid of dots that you have to line up carefully. When they're all aligned, the only red you can see is that tiny strawberry at the top. The last inset detail is the cake. Only 5 layers this time, but some very fussy details. This piece illustrates another helpful detail included in the design. Some of the layers have small punch-out details which you use to align additional layers on the top. So for each of the white cake layers, there are alignment slots for each of the flowers, the ribbons, the drapes, and the icing. When you use these alignment layers, you can easily set the highlight details in exactly the right place. The instructions recommends using a pair of tweezers, which I can absolutely understand, and they would have certainly been helpful. However, I had success with the point of the X-Acto blade, just helping to shift pieces around while the glue was still a little wet to get everything to settle into exactly the right place. The other benefit to using this white glue is, of course, it dries clear, so if you get a little extra on the edges, it's not going to show up in your final design. The assembly of these pieces really reminds me a lot of watercolor painting. You have to assemble from the background to the foreground. So the flowers start as a full yellow flower with blue drapes between each one. Then you add a green drape detail and pink flowers, and you end up with a pink flower with a yellow center, connected by green drapes, highlighted with a blue shadow to show the folds of the fabric. It's genius. With the 4 raised pieces finished, we're ready to move on to the base construction. I did have a little trouble with the video during this part of the assembly, but I'm going to pick up on the back side of the base. The base piece is different than the others. You start with the highlighted doily and silverware details on the front, and then you add a second layer on the back. This serves to strengthen the base and make the slots thicker to hold up each of those standing details. It's important to line all of those slots up exactly. The base pieces are also perforated to help folding, so you can separate the cake stand from the bottom of the case. Being able to fold the edges well is important here, so the sides will assemble cleanly and the whole piece will fit into the plastic case. Peek-a-chick secret number 2 here. I had to redo the base several times to get the folds and edges to meet correctly. Be patient. Finally, we're on to the assembly. You add glue to the tabs of each of the standing pieces and slip them into their respective slots. Just hold them still while the glue sets. A standing lace edge around each of the borders, and the piece is ready to assemble inside its plastic case. The plastic cube is actually a little deceptive. The hard top and bottom make the case rigid, but the sides are actually very flexible plastic. The top and bottom each have triangles to help you correctly align the piece front to back. I just used the X-Acto blade to press the base firmly in so that there's room for the side construction to also fit into the slots. The back of the plastic sides overlap, so you'll need to keep those two edges tight together as you fit them into the top and bottom of the case. And there you have it, Paper Theater with Eevee. This kit is a 3-diamond difficulty. It took me a little bit over an hour and 15 minutes to construct from start to finish. So just be sure you have a little bit of time and space so you don't lose any of your important details, and have a blast. You can find several different paper theater kits in darkmooncardsandgames.com right now. Look for your favorite and start a craft today. You can pick up your paper theater or any of our awesome figures, plush, cards, and more at Big Lit Comic-Con starting Saturday, October 31st and Sunday, November 1st at the Berglund Center in Roanoke, Virginia. You can also find us at the VA Comic-Con in Richmond on November the 21st. For your holiday shopping, meet us at Valley View Mall starting Black Friday weekend, every weekend through Christmas Day.